when we had to board the lap that we had a good pace before, but we didn't know how we will survive in the sector 3. But I was quite optimistic, but not at this stage, not like this.
Well, the balance also seemed to shift quite a lot. You seem to have a little bit of understeer in the last sector, whereas before you were struggling coming at the last corner with oversteer. Is it a setup change or is the temperature work for you guys?
No, I think that it's mainly driven by the tires, that if you start a bit too high at the beginning of the lap, you kill the front of the rear or the rear at the end. And it's a matter of balance, starting on the high side or not. And but overall, that I think the advantage also to have two new sets at the end is that they were able to fine-tune their driving and how they push on the first part of the lap. And probably was the difference.
Well, their first set was actually the quickest, though.
What kind of changes were made during the session? Were there a lot of changes with the car?
No, during the session from the beginning, I don't know, we were more focused, but I think like everybody on cooling, that Mexico is the paradise of cooling, that you have to deal for the brakes, for the engine, and we were fine-tuning everything from the beginning, and we were more focused on this than something else.
How hard is that from pit road to get the drivers in just the right spot so they have a run at the very end as well as a clear track? Is that super challenging?
No, because they know their job. and I think, again, the advantage to have 4 sets in a row, Q2, Q3, they were able to fine-tune their driving, their approach, how to push on turn 1 mainly, and then it went progressively, and they did a very good job.
The big question, though, is how you can convert this into a race win tomorrow.
Let me enjoy the quali first.
Do you know what? I don't think you're enjoying it enough. I think you're a bit too calm. I'd be like punched in the air a bit. I think you're taking all of it in your stride at the moment.
No, but for sure we'll have to manage the race. That we know that it's a very long run until turn 1, and the slipstream is important, but I prefer to start from the front.
Well, I don't want to remind you of this stat, but Charles has 22 poles, only converted them to 5 race wins. So it seems to be, you need to sort of get your ducks in a line. That's a
You showed
English
me
saying.
the data last week, or someone from Sky. And but I prefer to do pole position than not pole position.
I agree.
And
Fred, a lot of people have been talking about driver pairings. You know, the youngsters at McLaren coming in, George and Lewis. Your guys are separated by 600ths, first and second on the grid.
Yeah,
how are you feeling about that right now?
Honestly, it's a nice feeling. It means that the team is doing a good job for the two, and also I think it's part of the result because this kind of emulation is helping us, the team, but also helping them to push more, because that when you are 600ths from the guy who is in front of you, it means that you are also faster than him, on a couple of corners, and this is helping Charles. And I think from this emulation we can gain a lot.
Look, you've had poles, Carlos won, only team to have beat Red Bull. It feels like you have all the ingredients, but what is it going to take to put that together like consistently every weekend from your standpoint? What is it?
I think we have to stay calm, because we did the pole position, but for 1/10 you are not on the first row. And last week the comments were also not so positive. It means that for sometimes nothing, I think it was FP1, you had 10 cars in 2/10. The field is very, very tight. And we just have to be focused on ourselves and to try to get the best and not to think about position. It's easy to say, but I think the most important is to be focused on ourselves.
What seems so impressive is that Charles was able to sort of compartmentalise and put the disappointment of the disqualification behind him and come back for back-to-back poles, which, you know, first time this season and on a non-sprint weekend. So that's a great recovery from him, isn't it, mentally?
Yeah, but to put the disqualification behind you, when you are doing P6 and you know that it's not your fault, it's quite easy.
It's not, Says you.
No, he didn't lose the win, and at the end he was not responsible of something. That it means that he was quite relaxed all the week with this.
So what's going on behind you? What's the mood like in the team at the moment then? What kind of job have you got on your hands to manage everything?
Honestly, the mood is good, and I don't want to say strangely, but we had a very tough first part of the season, and Jeddah was very difficult for us. But even after Jeddah, the mood stayed positive, and nobody was too upset or too nervous or ballistic, and we stay focused on what we have to do. We improve step by step, sometimes too small step, but we did step forward on every single race. And for sure, sometimes the results are a bit up and down because it's so tight that when the track layout is not switching to the car or so, yeah, you can make a step back on classification, but the mood is still positive.
Did you guys do any long runs to see how it was in race?
You are speaking about the plankway or?
No.
No. Yeah, with this format, we did long stints.
Yeah.
We did one yesterday and one this morning, a bit shorter. And but again, the long stint, we were mainly focused on cooling. I think it was true for us, but it was true for Mercedes, McLaren, and even Red Bull.
Do you think you'll be able to keep the tires underneath the car? And
yeah, that I think everybody is more focused about brakes and engine than something else, but I hope so.
Talking of cooling, I don't know if you've noticed, but I keep bobbing down to use your head as a shield from the sun. So can you just stay there for the rest of the afternoon, please? It's really hot.
Put Jess down close to you.
Congratulations
Thank
today. All important day tomorrow. Go well.
Thank
we
you.
wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Okay, let's head over to Karun. He's with Toto Wolff.